Hello, hello, hello. Melissa May Dillon here, live on my personal page on Facebook, and then we upload it to my YouTube channel at Melissa May Dillon. If you're on the YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe. And if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, drop a comment about what we're talking about, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear them. And I have a few things I want to talk about, but I also just deeply want to get to bed. One of the things that I've noticed, this is great. Like 2025 is a year in which I decided to go live. And I've been going live on my Facebook, somewhere, someplace on the internet, pretty much every single day, missed a few days here and there with family stuff, whatever. But what this has done for me, and I've gone live actually since the month of December. So what this has done is it's actually allowed me to like see my patterns. So like see how it is that I function, and also understanding, gosh, there's this class, I bought this class that I want to watch, that I want to take a look at. It's about understanding our cycles as women. Keep talking about it. It's been on my freaking mind, and I haven't yet watched it, but I'm realizing like how much I follow a cycle and how much I follow a pattern, because like right now I am like so kind of irritated that I am going live. And this has been a theme every time we're getting very close to my period or on my period. And there's just this period of time where it's like, I'm almost angered or annoyed, and not quite angered, but just like, I don't feel like it. I just don't want to do it. And I normally, oh God. David walked in. Zap! Zoo's a little butthead when David walks in. But anyway, I've been able to see this pattern in me where when I'm getting close to my period, I don't want to be on, and I don't love it. And I normally love to go live. Like I love making videos. I love talking about all the things, and I love going live. But every time I get near my period, it's more like a chore. It's more of a frustration to have to do. Like I'm so frustrated that I committed to doing this and I have to do it and I can't say no. And I'm holding myself to my integrity and going live. Because definitely like I'm feeling that vibe right now, but I've made this commitment. So I'm going live, like I'm doing the thing. But also just seeing the way in which I behave also seems to follow, a cycle. So there's a lot of things kind of related, and honestly, I wish we were taught more, like understanding from a very early age that we as women follow cycles, that we are driven by the moon, that like all these things. I really need to take that class. But yeah, it's been interesting to see my own patterns and to see how they pop up every single month right around at the same time. And like we really do have cycles. Like when we're ovulating, we operate differently. In fact, that's when we're like our most shiny, amazing, beautiful selves. And we have like different patterns, and I'm just being so aware of them now that I continually am seeing the repetition of the patterns since I am going live every single day of the year, and seeing these different parts of me come up at different times of the month, but like the same time every month, right? It's kind of wild. One of the big things that I've been working on too is my anger. So I've talked about that quite a bit. And anger, as I'm learning, is a secondary emotion. It's an emotion that's usually hiding something that, like, anger is like a cover for the emotions of fear, or what was the other one? Fear, shame, or hurt. And I've been running around with like so much anger in my body, and I'm always like what I feel like is a pretty short fuse. In fact, my period, really, really short fuse. I learned too that like our estrogen levels like really drop as we're about to start our period, and our estrogen is what allows us to like have a longer fuse, to be able to tolerate things more.
Tell them what you told me today.
What did I tell them today, David?
Being you're about to start, your estrogen level is not capable of handling my BS.
That's literally what I'm talking about right now.
Oh, okay.
That my estrogen levels drop so much, and that I, like, normally David is David, and he's a goofball, and he's all these things, and I can tolerate him throughout the month, but not during the week of my period. I'm just like,
The week before it starts.
The week before it starts is I have an extremely short fuse. My estrogen levels are dropping. So learning and understanding that. But so I've been talking, but I've been talking about like my anger and working through my anger, and I've done a lot of amazing healing things, and it's been amazing. Like my anger has not been triggered like it used to before. In fact, it feels like it's dissipated. I have like this acceptance with myself. I trust myself to a whole level that I've never had before, and it all was like inner child work. I highly encourage you to listen to my last few videos if you feel like you're walking around with like a lot of anger or frustration. And I did some healing exercises. I did 2 of them today. I'm in an amazing community of people, and they're all like, I want you to try my healing modalities, and it's been awesome. So I did a journey within today with Debbie Joe, and then I did another session with Lita, Lita is who I used a week ago, or I forget exactly when it was, but it was about a week ago, where she really had me connect with my inner child to a whole new level that I've never experienced before, and that was amazing. And then we did a tapping session today. And so tapping is like where you tap on certain parts of your body in a certain pattern. And it does a lot of amazing things. And then you say certain statements. And one of the things, like, she was like talking about setting the intention for what I wanted to do in this session. And the thought that came to me was, I want to give up my wild monster, my wild beast, and I want more softness. And softness has been a theme of me lately. Like, I just want more softness. Like, I feel like I'm so hard and rigid, and I have to get stuff done, like very in my masculine all the time. I am the provider of the family. I'm running the business. I'm doing the things.
Now, you don't have to be.
But I am.
I know, but I do want to say that. You don't have to be.
But I am.
But I appreciate it.
But I am. So anyway,
welcome to a man's world.
So it puts me in a masculine. I feel like a lot of the times I have to be hard, and I have to be like rigid, and I want more softness. And so that was like something today, and it felt like I hadn't really been triggered into my anger since that healing session about a week ago, but I did feel annoyance pop up, especially right now with the week before my period. And this has been, again, the pattern that I've seen, this cycle that I've seen. So I was like, it doesn't quite feel like the anger, but there's a taste to it that's pretty similar. And I know it's a little bit biology and not necessarily related to, my trauma or whatever, but I wanted to further dig into it. I've been so grateful that I have had a much bigger fuse lately that I'm not, and it's not even like a fuse implies that there's a bomb to go off and you just, you're going to reach it. And it feels like my bomb has been disengaged. That I'm no longer just this massive, like, defensive, because, like, again, it was the image that I saw of myself was that I was an abandoned little dog who got stuck outside, lost. No one's feeding me. No one's taking care of me. And when somebody approaches me, I roar at them. And that was a feeling I basically have been operating under for a really long time. And so it's like, I want people, it's like that dog wants to be loved. It wants people to take care of it, but it doesn't trust anybody to do it. So when anybody comes near it, and that's how I've been functioning for a long time. And I feel like I've made acceptance and peace with that little mangy dog of me. And I trust myself to take care of myself. And I don't feel like I have to wait for someone else to come rescue me or come save me. And so I've had a lot of acceptance with that. But I was just still feeling like, especially with my period, this annoyance or this frustration, like with David. Of course, your spouse is always the one. So I brought that up today in my session. And one of the most wild things, like, of course, like, it's so obvious when it's happening, when you're talking about it, but it's like things that are unbeknownst to you. So I talked about, she was like, okay, let's talk about your anger again. And, how does this feel? What I was like, I feel annoyed. I feel agitated. I feel frustrated. We talked about like the levels, and she's like, and who are we blaming this on? I'm like, definitely my dad, who was always so angry. And I mentioned before in that other session how anger felt like a weapon that was used against me. So today in the session, I identified that anger essentially, like, kind of in this weird ass way, that like my father's anger was also like his love language. Like he didn't have a way of showing any other, like he himself was a scared, sad, traumatized little boy in a big man's body with children who were, being children, and he couldn't handle that. And so he used anger. And so then I associated anger with love. Like I knew my father loved me, but he was angry all the time. So it was like, I take on anger as love. And then I realized that like, that's my monster. Like that wild beast that's in me. And, it came from my dad. And so I had this like this image of, she asked me to recall like a memory of mine where I saw my dad being angry and, as early as I could go. And I've pulled up this image before when I did rapid transformation therapy, RTT with Alina, which is amazing, by the way. I don't think I would be in a place now where I can so easily tap into my inner child without having done a lot of work with Alina. I've had like multiple sessions with her where I've reconnected with little Melissa. And, so I saw like, I went back to this image, and the image was my father was screaming and yelling at my mother. And she was in the kitchen on the floor, and she was like kind of like banging her head against the wall because he just kept screaming and yelling at her, and she felt trapped and scared and all the things. And I was like, in my memory, I recall that I was like 3 years old, and it was like that. And I saw my dad as like a monster. And then I realized that I'm running around like a monster with my anger. I've taken on this because I am part of him. Like I don't think we really honor and recognize. We want so much to be away from our parents and to never do anything like them, but that we forget that we are them. Like we are half of our parents, half our mother, half our father. We are created of their DNA. We are created of their energy. We are created of exactly who they are. And then we also are in that environment. So like I literally have his DNA. And then I'm seeing how he treats me, and then I pick up all of his behaviors. I pick up the way in which he does things. And it's crazy too, because sometimes we even are like, I'll never do what my parents do, but you end up doing it in some weird ass form anyway, because like we're mirrors to everybody. And it's like mirrors, this hand is a mirror to this hand, but they're not exactly the same, right? They're different. And so we may think that we're not being our parents, but we're totally being our parents. And it looks like it looks like a different version, right? It's not exactly the same. It's showing up differently, but it is a mere reflection of how our parents raised us. So this monster that I have is from my dad, the same anger that he carried in his body. But it's like, that's how I learned what love is. That like, I literally was like, anger is love. And it was like, this is kind of like wild. But I had this image of like dissipating all of it. Like I went back into time, and I saw little Melissa watching that scene unfold, and I sat next to her and I hugged her and I held her. And, I told her like, we don't have to live this way. We don't have to live with this anger. We don't have to live with this screaming and yelling. You're safe now. You're okay. And then I picked her up and I was holding her, and then we looked at my dad. And, he was like screaming, yelling, and it was almost like little baby me, instead of being scared of it, was just kind of like, well, that's silly. He doesn't have to do that. And I saw little baby me like boop him. And it was like the scary angriness of him just like popped and like dissipated. And then I saw him as this little sad, child who also needed the love and the connection and stuff. And it was just wild. Like all the things, like we don't realize like how we are operating, and like 99% of our life is determined based on how safe our younger child, our inner child feels. And until we make peace with that, like we can only make decisions as safe as our inner child feels. And I so desired, like, I feel like in December, I said, I want to make $1 million in a month. And I feel so strongly that I should be making millions of dollars every single month. Like I feel it. I know it. And it's almost annoying that it's not happening, because I know that it is part of who I am, and of part of what I'm supposed to be doing, and a part of everything. And so there's like this period of time where it's like, I'm not exactly frustrated or annoyed. I just know that it's meant for me. So like, why am I not there yet, in a way? And so in the month of December, when I started all of this going live thing, which has created all these radical changes and everything that's been happening different, all from going live every single day. And I wanted $1 million month. And I said, I don't know if this December is actually going to be when I'm going to make $1 million in 1 month. And I don't care, because I know that I'm laying the groundwork for making $1 million in 1 month. I know that by declaring I'm making $1 million in 1 month, that the universe is going to give me the opportunities, the things that I need to do, the things that I need to grow, the things that I need to evolve. It's going to provide me a way in getting to making $1 million in 1 month. And I feel like this is all part of it. Like the amount of healing that I'm doing, and the amount of growth that I'm having, and the amount of evolution that's occurred since December has been so incredibly much. And you can even go back and just witness who I was and see like what I was saying, and see how the massive growth that's happened since December, since declaring I want to make $1 million in 1 month. And what's been interesting is I've been in the past, I've done, inner child healing work. I've done, understanding my behaviors and where they come from and choosing new behaviors. I've done the mindset work of understanding that we operate on belief systems and programming and conditioning, but it's always felt like a little bit of a battle uphill. And it's like, okay, got to work on connecting with that inner child. Okay, got to uncover those beliefs. Okay, we got to tackle this. And it's like, it's been like an uphill battle to, uncover these things and connect with these things and do the stuff. But like, my gosh, I feel like just recently it's been like expedited, and it's like easy. Like it's been easy to make these connections. It's been easy to have this healing. It's been, and I feel like it's also like, of course it's like, because I've done it, I feel like, it's like everything. Like even if you're like learning you want to run a marathon, you have to practice at it. You have to put that work into it. You don't just run a marathon on day one. Like you're building yourself up to it. So I feel like everything I've done, it wasn't too slow, and it wasn't wrong, and it wasn't bad. It was just, I've hit this point where it's like accelerating it's compounding. Like the effect is faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And I feel like so much of it is because I called in, I want to make $1 million in 1 month. And the biggest thing, like I said, if your inner child does not feel safe, it will not allow you to do decisions or do things that will expand you into making $1 million in a month. And that's all it is expansion. It's just your ability to hold and expand feelings, emotions, business decisions, leadership, all of that. You have to expand into that. And so by saying, I want to make $1 million in 1 month, is like, well, here's all the ways you have to expand. Here's all the things that you need to work on. Boom, here it is. And I've been like, okay, yes, let's go. Okay, yes, let's go. Okay, oh, clear up the anger, clear up this, clear up that, clear up this. And I've been providing, and like the Men for Magic, oh my gosh, that accelerated everything in Florida. So join me next year. It's going to be amazing. Let me know. I'll drop you the link so you can get a ticket. The price is going to go up June 1st. So it's time to book in a ticket now. In fact, I'll drop it in the comments. And by the way, if you guys are commenting, I can't really see. It sucks. I can't see comments. Maybe that's a good thing. But for whatever reason, sometimes when I go live, I can't see them. But there's a link. Join me in Florida. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was a huge accelerant. That was like pouring gasoline on my fire of like, I want to make $1 million in a month. I want to do amazing and miracle things. And in fact, I did my VIP day with Andrea in November. And then December, I declared making $1 million in 1 month. And then December was also the month that I went live. Like I didn't even plan. I knew I wanted to do a thing of making $1 million in 1 month. And it turned out to be going live every single day. Like that was the whole thing. I wanted to do something with y'all, with the public. And like, it ended up being that declaration of making $1 million in 1 month. So December to remember is what I called it. And that's when I started my, I'm going to go live every single day thing. And then I decided to carry that on through 2025. And that's allowed me to see my patterns. It's allowed me to understand that I have cycles. It's allowed me to really go so far into my healing more than I ever have before and accelerate my healing. And I know it's all part of this beautiful path of expanding into what into what I want, which is right now, I want to be making multi-millions of dollars a month. Like it just feels like that's it. Like it just feels like that's what's what is happening. And I'm also doing a lot of different things in my business that I haven't before. I feel things have been so much easier. Things that I've avoided doing have just come up as an opportunity for me to do them, to work through them. The way in which I'm meeting, the way in which I'm talking with people, like it's just everything is just all lining up perfectly. And it's just been a really wild, incredible, amazing journey of going live every single day and just putting all this out there and processing through all this stuff and healing through all this stuff and seeing all of my patterns, identifying my pattern, healing my patterns, creating new patterns. Like it's just been wild and amazing. But like I said from the very beginning, I am tired and I don't want to be here right now. And that has been my pattern of when my period shows up. I'm like, why did I commit to going live every single day? You need to take a week off when you're starting your period. And that is a pattern that I've seen myself in. And next year, when I'm done with 2025, the year in which I go live, I will not go live during my period. And I think I will even like build it around my work schedule. Like this is a week that no one talks to me. Leave me alone. And in fact, like I heard that like women in ancient times, they would go off and live in a tent for a whole week and like not talk to anybody, and they would have mystical experiences. And I'm like, I think that's what I need to do. So anyway, lots of amazing, I just unpacked a ton of stuff today. So many amazing things, just seeing it all play out, seeing how it's all happening, and just trusting in my wonderful, beautiful, amazing journey has just been awesome. And that's kind of a summary of what I'm talking about today, and digging into that anger and the underlying feelings of that anger and just like rewiring my system. It's all amazing and magical. So I'm just going to let you guys go because I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So I love you all so much. I'm sending you so much love, so much vibes. Live a fully authentic and amazing life. You have an amazing day. Bye.